Thank you very much for that expose. The PCNGI, the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, is seen to be championed by Indemi. So far, from the news, I can see some of the convention centers launched in Lagos, Abuja, and Kaduna. What do you think the initiative holds for Nigerians?
Okay. Um, this should have been the biggest, you know, program that Tinubu administration has launched. But unfortunately, the Tinubu administration seems to be occasioned by fear. That is me saying this mildly. Seems to be occasioned by some contradictory policies, well, especially with the delay in launching of these buses nationwide. Because I expect that by now, speaking I expect that by now, the impact of this, all these kind of stories on Sahara reporters will have been would just have been justified as baseless, if you ask me. What if I were an advisor to Tinubu administration? I won't give them all these kind of gaps. I won't give them all this kind of leverage. I won't give them. I will just do what needs to be done. Then let them talk later. Do you understand what I'm saying? But allowing them to talk, then later react is not a good. It's not a good response mechanism, if you ask me. And that is why I would have said, by now, let's get all these buses available. Let's get them. Let's put them to use. Let the energy. Let's even crash the price of petrol. Then let Nigerians feel the impact. So that is a better answer to stories, to some of these junks flowing on social media.
Okay, Adigun, as a precursor to what you have said so far, rolling out the bus, sorry, Trust TV with the program director, Engineer Michael Oluwagbemi, he said about 11,500 buses will be imported. So of these CNG buses, of course, will be imported into Nigeria. So what is happening differently? Why would Sahara reporters allege that buses were seen, panel beating and being refurbished or painted in Ministry of Transportation?
Well, like I said earlier, in my first statement, I usually don't like responding to because Sahara reporters see what they want to do. They have removed subsidy today. Tomorrow, we are still paying some sort of subsidy. And tomorrow, I don't even see the benefits of even having this subsidy. If amount of it doesn't make any sense to me, if you ask me. And some people will say, oh, it's our benefit. It's not your benefit. It's supposed to be a situation where we are talking about cheap energy, alternative to petrol. We are talking about safe alternative to petrol. We are talking about just day before yesterday, Tinubu and other world leaders met in Dubai to talk about climate change. It's that important. People are talking about.
And now that's what even the UN has been advocating
for. We are talking about other people are still talking about continuing to subsidize petrol in this age. And please, I think we should get to the point where we begin to ask ourselves: do we really want a country that works? If we want a country that works, we shouldn't be talking about spending trillions of naira on subsidy, on sustaining subsidy. If we are being serious as a people, rather than of energy, cheaper source of energy, cleaner source of fueling in my house. I know how much. So if somebody, it pains me, and all I spend, I consume that much energy, and pay consume that much energy, paying higher, and this is someone that is saying, look, I can make it cheaper for you. Which one will I go for?
It's of not course, the cheaper one
and the safer one. Yeah. So that is what I that is what I think about that for now. It's cleaner. It's more energy. Europe has moved on from there, and we have the funny thing is that About 33 states in Nigeria, out of Nigeria's 36, or 37, depending on the nomenclature, has gas here. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to, and these are things that can be transformed. Okay.
I think at one of the launch of one of the convention centers, Engineer Luwagbemi said about Nigeria is sitting on about 6 point something trillion for the use of for domestic use.
Yes, that is just it. But again, we have to build the infrastructure. Some years earlier, people were talking about, how would the poor be able to afford? The poor uses gas now. Please, when we get, I think we should stop just anticipating problems. We should always anticipate possibilities. We should think. What is that report again? I think Nigeria, we need to have a serious conversation about how, one, engaging the government, citizen to government engagement. We should also have a conversation around citizenship in this country, whether we are a country where citizens want the country to work.
All right, so the CNG buses, yes, like you said, they are safer, cleaner, and more eco-friendly. Somebody asked me a question, I think some weeks back. He was trying to inquire to know if there's any possibility for one to convert his car to CNG and then convert from CNG back to combustible fuel. Can you educate Nigerians on that?
Well, I'm not really an expert engineer, but I think the process is quite simple. Just walk into the nearest conversion center. You get the required advice, and I think there have been over 10 conversion centers launched nationwide across the 6 geopolitical. And also, I'm aware that currently the Federal University Oye in Ekiti is also, going to have a conversion center very soon. So what I think is that Nigerians should, and this process is actually very cheap. It's an initial investment to much of your disposable income in the process. At the end of the day, so what is there not to like, really? I don't see it. I don't see it.
Okay. Still moving on.
Okay.
Talking about conversion. What entails when you want to convert your car from combustible to compressed natural gas? I mean, when you drive into a conversion center and you want to convert your car from combustible fuel to CNG, how much will it take for one to do that? Nigerians would like to know.
Well, interestingly, I'm not a spokesperson for the CNG program. I'm just an advocate, of the project. I think it's just roughly, by the time you spread it, it's going to be less than 200,000.
Depending on the engine type, the conversion kits,
and
all of that.
So many
the model of the car.
And this payment can be spread over a period of time, based on your consumption of CNG over a period of time. It's at the end of the day, if you look at it, it may just end up being you are paying 1,000 naira less than you won't even feel like you are paying, because CNG it takes a longer time to burn. It takes a longer time to burn, and you may. Yeah.
And it dissipates easily into thin air.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So now, since you are an advocate of the CNG buses, and you said it's not pocket-tearing, Nigerians currently, due to the removal of subsidy, I think the pangs are hitting very hard on Nigerians currently, and its spillover effect on the economy, on food, commodities, and the rest of it. Now, with the onboarding of CNG buses, how would you compare the currently PMS is selling for 600 and something naira. How much do you think it would require for one to maybe full a tank of CNG of 12 kg? And then how long will it span? I mean, if you're traveling from here to, say, Benue State, for instance, uh, roughly compared to fuel, the combustible fuel and CNG, do you think, how cheaper do you think it would be?
Well, what I think is that if you have a, let's say, 10 liter of combustible fuel, and that 10 liter may not necessarily take you past Kogi State if you're maybe going to Lagos. But if you have 10 liters of CNG, it can take you far farther than it can take you even to Lagos if there are no engine problems or mechanical problems. And that is one because if you look at this thing, I don't because I've sat down to apart from this because I'm an advocate of safe environment.
Exactly.
And also I'm passionate about the ecosystem.
Yes.
But anything that would, cause more environmental harm, I think we should start doing away with it. We should start seriously considering
from bush burning, tree cutting.
We should start doing away with all that. But CNG has been confirmed as, and that is one of the what's it called agreements that were signed in the recently concluded COP28. That is the global platform for climate change and advocacy. But interestingly, the Nigeria's participation was eclipsed by all these negative stories of delegations and things like that. That should tell you how petty we've become, as a people, because climate change is something people are naturally passionate, because we are talking about things that affect the rural poor, things that affect directly millions of Nigerians. So, and you are saying, oh, people should not feel like participating. People will want to participate. I would like to participate in that kind of a forum if I were nominated.
All right. Abuja, we've been discussing misconceptions surrounding